psychopaths and sociopaths. It is very likely you've heard both of these terms before. They have captured the imagination of people worldwide with movies, books, TV shows, and even in real life. Perhaps there are even people in your life that you suspect could identify as one or the other. But what does it actually mean to be a psychopath or a sociopath? What are the differences between them? And is one more dangerous than the other? First, let's explore something they both have in common. Nowadays, people use both psychopathy and sociopathy to talk about an antisocial personality disorder, which is the official diagnosis for someone showing traits of either term. Antisocial Personality Disorder, ASPD, is a mental health condition characterized by a persistent pattern of disregard for the rights of others, lying, deceit, impulsivity, irritability, aggression, lack of remorse, and a failure to conform to social norms, which are traits that psychopathy and sociopathy both share. It's common for people with both conditions to engage in behaviors that cause harm to those around them. The real difference shows in the way that they convey these characteristics. To put it simply, the typical psychopath is more like a cool, calculated, charming villain. The typical sociopath is more like the wild, unpredictable rebel. Let's take a look at each one in more detail. First up, the sociopath, the wild daredevil of the carnival. Sociopaths have a penchant for bending the rules. Imagine someone who thrives on chaos, stirring the pot just to see what happens. Sociopaths dance to the beat of their own drum, often disregarding society's norms like confetti in the wind. They bring the unexpected chaos, turning life's scripted play into an improv comedy. People displaying sociopathy often demonstrate heightened emotions and are prone to frequent emotional outbursts or mood swings. Although individuals with sociopathy engage in harmful behaviors, they commonly attempt to rationalize their actions. Those with sociopathy may exhibit impulsivity and encounter challenges in managing feelings of rage, potentially leading to violent tendencies. Next, the psychopath. Imagine a charismatic, charming individual who can manipulate their way into your trust faster than you can say mind games. Psychopaths are often masters of disguise, hiding their true nature behind a charming facade. Think of them as the Hannibal Lecters of the world, calculating and cold. Psychopaths often appear calm and collected, even in situations that might provoke strong emotional reactions in others. They may be skilled at mimicking social behaviors to blend in, but underneath the surface, they often struggle with forming genuine emotional connections. So what are the differences between psychopaths and sociopaths? Psychopaths are people who don't have much of a conscience, but can act like they do when it benefits them. Sociopaths have a bit of empathy and remorse, but it's not very strong. They're also more prone to getting upset and reacting violently when faced with the outcomes of their actions. Thus, one of the differences is emotional connection. Sociopaths may form attachments, but often have more volatile and unstable relationships. They make it clear they do not care how others feel, although they may actually care a little bit. Psychopaths, however, pretend to care. Psychopaths tend to have a more superficial charm and a lack of emotional depth and empathy. They are very good actors, knowing how to blend in with the rest of society, and, thus, can be very inconspicuous. Sociopaths possess a conscience, although it is a weak one, and frequently rationalize actions they recognize as wrong. In contrast, psychopaths believe their actions are justified and experience no remorse for any harm caused. Another difference is their behavioral patterns. Psychopaths often engage in calculated, planned criminal activities. Thus, they may remain calm even in violent situations, displaying less emotional reactivity. On the other hand, sociopaths may exhibit more spontaneous, unplanned actions. Sociopaths may react more impulsively and violently when confronted with consequences. The origins of psychopathy and sociopathy are also different. In short, it is commonly believed that psychopaths are born, whereas sociopaths are made. Thus, people with sociopathic tendencies are linked more to environmental factors, such as a troubled upbringing or negative experiences. Psychopathy is considered more innate and associated with genetic factors and neurological traits. Keep in mind, however, that this is considered a broad characterization. It is not uncommon to hear of psychopaths, for instance, who have had troubled upbringings or a history of instability. Quite a notable difference between sociopaths and psychopaths is their social functioning. Sociopaths are more obvious. They may stand out as impulsive troublemakers. They are less charming compared to their psychopathic counterparts, due to them often being extremely opinionated, combative, and having problems with authority. Psychopaths, however, can be harder to spot because they are charming and fit into society quite well. As far as first impressions go, they may even be very likable. Sociopaths may struggle to hold on to a job, whereas with psychopaths, it's not uncommon to find them in professions such as being a CEO or a lawyer. According to psychologist Elizabeth Lombardo, a psychopath who gets upset is more likely to keep their cool, whereas a sociopath is more likely to lose their temper. It's important to emphasize that these distinctions are not universally agreed upon. While there's a common perception that sociopaths and psychopaths are inherently dangerous, this notion is often more a product of television dramas than an accurate representation of these disorders. Violence, while a possibility, is not an inherent characteristic of either sociopathy or psychopathy. It's important to note that discussions about antisocial personality disorder should be approached with care. Diagnosing mental health conditions requires a thorough assessment by qualified mental health professionals. The portrayal of sociopathy and psychopathy in popular culture, such as in movies and literature, often exaggerates traits for dramatic effect, and real-life individuals with such traits may vary widely. If you have concerns about someone's behavior, it's recommended to encourage them to seek professional help rather than attempting to diagnose them yourself. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell for future videos. Until next time, stay aware, stay empowered, and remember, knowledge is your greatest defense against the unseen forces that shape our world.